Okay, here we are, episode, not episode, After Party, episode 35.
Hey-o.
Woo-hoo! After 35 party.
35, they're just winging by.
I mean, only two of us are over 35, but okay.
Well, that's right, only the wise and the wise ones. So we're going to talk about sessions 104, 105, and 106, titled The Last Elder, The Lesser Evil, and The Scouting Party.
I will say I wish I had swapped the titles of 104 and 105, I think.
So that would be, sorry, say that again then in the different...
So 104 would have been The Lesser Evil, and 105 would have been The Last Elder. I don't know. That's what I thought. As soon as I titled 105, I'm like, I should have switched those.
Yeah, I noticed that too, and I was indescribably disappointed in you. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's start out. We were starting out 104 with a short rest, which, those are few and far between. But during that time, I have down here that I attuned to the whips, Shaft attuned to the whips. We were talking about getting the Scroll of Sending so Falzarin could contact some Tritons.
Finally.
Yeah, right?
Gosh.
I will also note that at the very end of 103... Mia was like, yeah, call Izzy. And then it took about half of 104 before Falzarin actually called Isabella.
It took some time, that's for sure.
It was almost like he didn't want to talk to her.
Yeah.
Why? Why would you not want to talk to Isabella?
Why would that be? It's just mind-boggling.
More of that. Yeah.
Yeah, this was an awesome set of 3 episodes. I will say it's like this, I think I've mentioned before on some type of after party or something, maybe we're talking about that. Sometimes I'll still get nervous before we play. And this was definitely one of those times. This and the last, and like the session before, so kind of the last batch of episodes. Yeah, I was super nervous because like I knew like there was a pretty good chance that all of this exposition was going to get dropped and like these bombshells. And I really wanted to I was getting nervous about making sure I did all of that information service and the interaction with your characters and like giving you information, but not making it feel like I just dumped information on you and more of this fluid and natural conversation with Isabella. And I don't know. I didn't like ultimately how I performed in it, but I guess
really?
you're always your biggest critic, right?
I liked the way it happened.
I thought it was great.
It went down well.
Yeah.
Well, wait, so like you just had all this information inside of you, like, $5 burning a hole in your pocket.
I mean, I had just like my DM notes were pretty extensive. I just had like a bunch of bullet point of like things that I like, hopefully in the conversation I would touch on. And we got through them. I do love Isabella. I mean, she's like by far my favorite NPC, I think. Like,
whoa! More favorite than Drag?
I really like Drag, but Drag's a goody two shoes. Izzy's like, I mean,
you like being evil.
Izzy is a pretty good villain. I gotta hand it to you.
Izzy's great.
Yeah.
I mean, is Izzy even a villain? Like, really?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
She wants to save the city? Maybe in the
for
process,
what purpose?
Gain a little power. It's still saving a city.
I would say everybody in Aspara is some kind of power-hungry person anyway, it sounds like.
Except for Falzarin.
Not me on
Except
Brightwood.
Falzarin.
Except
Never.
for Falzarin? What? What was that?
Oh, man. All right, so where are we beginning? What was happening?
We were taking the short rest. We were trying to get the scroll. I have down here that we examined the harness after Falzarin used his memory spell to remember that he could use Identify.
Oh, I knew he could. I was like, what the heck?
It's been so long.
It was not a proud moment in my role-playing career.
I wrote down, Bill said, I don't have that spell. ... Oh, I do have that spell.
And there was like a solid 20 to 30 seconds cut out between those two
Oh, yeah, the
sentences
dot,
of
dot,
Bill
dot.
looking, and Elena like,
Flipping.
you've used it before. What are you
Flipping
doing?
through pages.
Like, I have it so etched in my mind, with Sardo, or was it Sardo, or was it Magic, where, like, the caps of slumber and all these things he's examining.
Yeah, it
to
was
make sure-
magic.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, that was a long time ago.
He went into the back identifier room.
Still,
For 10 minutes.
there was an identifier, like a changing room.
That's right. Yeah. that was you being testing the wand of secrets and making sure it was actually what it was.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Wow,
also
that's
the
where I
day
got
that
the
you
Wand of
sold your
Secrets.
book of necromancy for Isabella to
Yeah,
get
that
back.
was.
So easy for me to find.
Yeah. Perfect.
Oh, so good.
So we did identify the Erica's arm or
Harness,
and
yeah.
harness, and I mean it was pretty cool, but none of us seemed very interested in it.
'Cause
in
you
the
lose
end,
an
we just
arm.
stuck it in the bag.
Yeah, you do
Yeah.
lose an arm. Yeah.
Like,
I'm not about to give up one of my arms.
dude.
Well, potentially temporarily, right? We had to test it.
True. I was really hoping one of you would just put it on and try to use it without identifying it.
I
bet
think
you
we
would.
need to test it on
Shield.
somebody else.
I would have
first.
cut one of your fucking arms off. 100%.
Mia has a plated shield and the hammer. Like, she's not. Come on.
Yeah, you need both arms.
Yeah.
Well, if one of you happens to lose an arm in the future, hopefully it's the right
Yeah.
one, it's the right side, and
Right,
you can
exactly.
use the harness.
Well, if you put it on the other, well, no, I guess you'd lose that other arm, wouldn't you? Yeah, can you strap it any other way? The other one's backwards. That could be handy to be able to pick stuff up behind you.
Yeah.
At the same time.
The third arm.
There won't be any attacks of opportunity from behind. The arm will just smack him.
That's right.
Oh my gosh.
Cannot be surprised. I wrote down here with a big star here because I don't think we brought it up anytime later, but we do need to remember Mr. Chum.
Oh, rip.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I will eventually
No.
heal him. I will eventually heal him.
No.
Lost
Right.
cause? No, sorry. Oh,
Listen, the
he'll be fine
spell
in
that
30 days.
the greater healing spell is 5th level.
The Greater Restoration.
Greater restoration, sorry. And I will eventually heal him.
Oh, you know how it's going to be. Old Grimby, out of mind, out of mind.
He is out of mind. Out of mind. Oh, that's good.
Well, I'm sure Janella will take good care of him.
I'm sure she will.
Maybe she'll like him like that, She needs to feel needed,
Well, he gets to do a save every 30 days, right?
Yeah.
He can snap
Oh
out of
He
my
it.
makes an
gosh.
intelligence save every 30 days with an intelligence of 1.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yes, highly
I
unlikely.
could
Once
at
you
least
need to
cast
get-
guidance, okay? That's a cantrip. I've got a million of them.
I think with Almar, it's like a DC 16 or 17 or something.
Mm.
Oh,
Well,
boy.
What is the negative? I think the negative on a 1 intelligence is at least minus
Negative
5,
right?
So he can't
I
even
think
make it.
that's-
So you can't even do it. No.
Can't even get
What
it
if
with a natural
what if I
20.
cast guidance? That's a +4.
That's a D4.
It's a D4,
Oh, it's a D-
yeah.
oh, sorry,
So it's
sorry,
potentially
not
a +1.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Okay,
So
so,
if
I'm
you
gonna
rolled
heal
a 20
Grimby.
and rolled
All right.
a 4,
We're gonna kill a Kraken.
Maybe.
We're gonna kill Isabella, and then we'll heal Grimby.
You all are on a slaughtering spree currently, so why not keep it up?
He deserves to live, Grimby. Forever in our hearts.
a 20
right.
would succeed on saves.
Forever
saves
in
and
our hearts,
attacks.
never on our
Taco
minds.
Supreme says.
Forever in our
natural
hearts,
20
never on our
succeeds
minds.
on saves.
Oh, yeah. So all he has to do is crit.
That's all.
All he has to do is.
Does it? I don't think it does. Like even on an
Yeah.
ability check. On saves too, eh? That's interesting. Because definitely not on ability checks, but
If there's one thing I know, Taco Supreme knows his stuff.
very true. Very true.
Yeah.
That, I guess that kind of makes sense. Otherwise, that spell is like borderline, like entirely broken, right? Otherwise, your
Yeah.
feeble mind. Why bother giving you that 30-day save if you don't have that
Right.
5% chance, regardless of who
Right.
casts it on you, of recovering, right? That totally makes sense.
I mean, Bill Ben wants us to keep killing so he can stat it up. He
Because
wants
He's
to
our
keep
stat man.
padding the stats.
he's the stat man.
Stat man. Stat man. All right.
So I have a question.
Yep.
We got the sending scroll. We decided
Yes.
that Falzarin's going to contact the Tritons.
Yes.
Why Karos and not Slava, who we knew was nearby?
Because I'm an idiot, okay?
No, no, I remember... Bill, I mean, besides that, I remember what you were thinking. You said that, like, you know Karos better, because there's always a chance it could fail
You did.
or whatever, right? So...
Yeah, I have a much more lengthy history with Karos, so that was the main reason why.
No, it makes sense. And honestly, like the 5% chance of the failure, if the target is not on the same plane as you, I don't know. I mean, maybe in your conversation you had with Slava when you saved him from those deep scions, I don't know if he didn't mention specifically that Karos wasn't on the material plane.
No, I don't think
I think he
did.
might have spoken about, with your information about the Kralakina ritual and all that stuff. Like, I think he said, okay, well, my people will check, make sure that Kralakina is still in his cage, in its cage, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was mention that, forces were going to be or Tritons of some number were going to be sent back to the whatever
Plane of
elemental
water.
plane of water.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was actually thinking to myself, I think that's part of the reason we spent so much time on going over what happens if the person's not on this plane. I was like, oh crap, what if it was Karos that went back there? But at the same time I thought, well, not that I wouldn't distrust Slava, but I've known Karos for years and years and years and years.
Yeah.
Who did you know better, Brendel or Karos?
Oh, snap. He's not even...
Well, I mean, we had a recent...
That cuts deep, John. That cuts deep.
We had a recent comment
gosh.
that says, you really should have known Brendel was
Sick
untrustworthy.
burn.
We sure did.
Burns in the chat.
I got burned. I got burned on our BGG field. We can get to that later if we want to.
Oh my gosh, we need to read that comment. It was very well
I
written.
think it's worth reading on the
It's
after
funny.
party.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
funny.
good. It was very good.
Oh, okay.
You got some aloe for that burn?
I slathered myself in aloe after that. Yeah.
Oh man. I mean, if we're talking about the comments, Shaft gets the shaft as well, so it's fine.
Oh yeah, I really enjoyed that.
I mean, and I enjoyed it too because Bryn is everybody's favorite. I feel so vindicated when I read like that.
man.
Oh my gosh.
I
Anyway.
don't know why you are
I don't
repeatedly
get it.
people's favorites. I don't get it.
I don't get it either, but
Woohoo. I'm your favorites.
okay. So you'd contact Karos. We we said ships are on their way. Then we had a big, long conversation of whether we should go to Alamar's, go to the Keep to see Isabella, or go to the Kraken. And I have a little circle here with arrows on it because apparently we talked in circles on that for some time.
And it was
As usual.
Alstoff, not Alamar.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Alstoff.
Alstoff.
Tinnerman.
Sorry.
We're gonna
Tinnerman,
go
yeah.
to
Stick with
Tinnerman.
Tinnerman. That's how I remember.
To get the metal man to help us. We
Tinnerman's
wanted
toy
to-
soldiers.
Yeah.
Tinnerman's toy soldiers, exactly.
And so we finally decided to go to Tinnerman's to see if we can get some metal men. And then on the way, Falzer makes a call to
Because
Isabella.
he's talented enough to walk and talk.
That's right.
But not chew gum.
Yeah, he is. So good.
And then there's a nice little conversation. Falzer, you want to talk about your conversation with Isabella?
Not really, but
Scabulet. Walkie-talkie.
I mean, what I'll say about it is it did seem like she was still wanting to talk to you, and you weren't on the outs with her necessarily.
yeah, at that point it seemed like she was, the whole become a part of her group was still on the table.
Why won't you say coven? Just why?
It's a group.
Why?
It's an organization.
I do love that. There's never been an utterance of Bill on mic saying the word covenant.
I love it. It's crazy.
It's amazing. Just like Shakara's alliance with Dendar.
Yes.
Yep.
I do
so
like
good.
how it ended.
It's a club.
Tell Shakara I said
Incorporated.
hi.
Yeah. That was some foreshadowing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Isabella, I mean, she's going to
Is
hold
it?
up her end of the... you guys made an agreement, right? Like, the two of you have this agreement. Just you weren't... I mean, she's punishing you because you were slow to do your side, right? I mean, that's how this all how the drain, the scab
Oh,
drain
yeah.
has started,
Yeah.
right? So,
Seems
but you
totally
finally
fair.
did it.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's very just.
Yeah.
I mean, she's well
Yeah.
within
Totally.
her rights. As far as the
Yeah.
contract reads, I mean, there's lots of fine print, and you probably should have had your lawyers read it over before signing anything. But I mean, that's not
Choice
Isabella's
between
fault.
life and death is still a choice, according to
Tulsa. Wise words of Tulsa.
Salsa?
Salsa Tulsa. Went to Salsa with Tulsa.
That was a good line, actually. That was a good line.
That was a very good line. Still a choice.
Well, that was in what? That was 105, right? We're a little
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. We're
I
getting
guess
ahead
that's
of
the end of
ourselves.
104, right?
All I do is get ahead of
Almost there.
myself.
We decide we want to turn back around and head back to the keep after he has his conversation. And
Right.
let's see. The one thing that she did say was, "Tell Shakara I said hello." So now you're just
Hey,
this
girl.
messenger to
Yeah.
make sure things are going well with don't care much for you, Falzarin.
Yeah, that was a little bit of
Mr. Abs.
foreshadowing right there.
Every time he says Mr.
Yeah.
Abs.
It's like another little poke in the scapulet.
Yes, as Shaft is frequently found doing.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
He wants to keep reminding you that you got a walkie-talkie on your chest,
Yeah.
right?
I'm not 100% convinced that it's listening to everything we say, because
You
were some-
sound like someone that believes in, Google Home and Alexa and all that. Not listening to what you say.
there, like, I think even that conversation with Isabella, she asked if I was with you guys, right?
To sound dumb, she's a
did.
scammer.
I mean, that's possible. Maybe she was just bluffing.
Or it's something where she can listen when she wants to, but it's not always on.
Perhaps.
Jessica
Sure,
says
perhaps.
it's like a Google Nest in your chest.
I mean,
Boom.
all you have to do to contact her is think about it, right?
Yeah.
Because you have the scapulet.
Right.
So I would assume it would go the other way.
But it makes a buzzy thing in my head whenever whenever the connection is established.
It does.
Yeah.
So has Isabella up to this point given you all the impression that she's basically omniscient?
No.
No, but maybe
But it never hurts to be paranoid about that.
the buzzing in his head is like she's a scam artist, right? So she's like, I'll make a buzzing sound when he talks to me, so he'll think I'm not listening when I am listening.
I mean, hell, there's a book that writes down everything
Right.
everybody says in the damn city.
Exactly. And she read it, right? Her and Erica, there was
Erica had it. I don't know that Isabella
Erica
ever had it.
but they had a meeting together. Anyway,
They spoke.
They Skyped because they weren't
They
really.
threw the wall.
they
I mean,
zoomed.
Yeah,
Yeah, they zoomed.
yeah.
exactly. It's not paranoid if they're really out to kill you. And
Yes, Jessica Atwater.
depending on how happy Isabella is, depends on whether or not she's out to kill
Yeah.
us.
Is she ever happy? I mean, maybe she's pleased.
She seemed awfully happy when she was raising those flesh golems. So
Yes.
Yeah, who was
Yes.
surprised with what they found in the keep? That's one question here, because I was actually surprised. The same sort of setup, layer.
Yeah, that's her go-to, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
tough to teach an old dog new tricks, right?
I didn't know what to expect.
I wasn't
but,
expecting it.
Like a day later, have all that set up.
Yeah.
It's like she was prepared.
I mean, with Isabella, she's so arrogant, and she knows that nobody is going to have any higher power than she. So we're just her toys to screw around with, essentially.
What did you guys think of how it was all powered? Because last time there was a switchboard operation deck, right? But
There was.
we
this time,
didn't
too.
see a sacrifice last time.
Yeah, we didn't see the sacrifice last time, but
They
it was
were,
already in process.
half-baked. Yeah.
Well,
You didn't see a
Falzarin
sacrifice
was
last time.
Strapped to the board.
That was Falzarin.
Oh,
That's right.
Spoilers.
I mean, Bill, would you like to shed some more light on for those that may
Let's
not have
talk
heard it?
about it.
Yeah.
she was
I mean,
draining you.
geez, I think that was session 32 or something.
Yeah, that
Where
was,
that
that was a
happened?
couple
Ago.
episodes ago.
Way back. Wow. Okay.
So Falzarin is what animated the flesh columns originally.
So that's only why
Wow.
2 of them rose then.
Are you trying to say that Falzarin's
Because you
weak?
weren't dead. Because you weren't dead.
he was hesitant.
Because you don't have the stamina to.
Oh. He was hesitant.
Yeah. So Falzarin was hooked up to the all those pulsy green tubes in the
Oh
last
gosh.
layer
Yeah.
where you came and rescued him.
I mean, he had a tube in his chest as well.
Yeah.
So if we hadn't arrived, would she have drained you in order to give life to the four of them, or would it have just taken so long that you could have lived through it?
That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, if I'm remembering correctly, and I'm the worst person to try and remember something.
Oh, yeah, let's see.
She had made me an offer to be part of her group. And so if I was to accept that offer, I would assume she wouldn't have let this procedure where she's draining my power go on until it totally kills me.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Procedure sounds so clinical, but I guess.
I mean, that's pretty accurate.
Another, what was the other good quote that came out of this? Is not one life worth a whole island or something?
The whole city.
Utilitarianism, baby.
Yeah, these are good quotes, right?
The greater
willingly, too. And he was willing. So Bill and Shakara both were like, Falzard and Shakara were both like, huh, fair enough.
Yeah, you're talking about Eccles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that pretty much ended 104. We did see 10 tables with flesh golems. We do have the tubes going to the podium and a wood frame on the wall, and that's where we end. We come back with 3 humans in robes, which were what we're talking about, Eccles, Hulsta, and Tulsta. And we did have a, see, what does it say?
Salsa. Oh, sorry.
Salsa, that's right. She said she had spoke with Erica, the youngest of us, I think she mentioned, which now we know at least.
Good quote.
Erica's the youngest.
Yeah, I believe she called her naive as well.
Naive,
the
yes,
baby.
She also said to Shaft that Erica went after the wrong brother.
Ooh.
Yeah, I can see where this is going.
So this was actually one of the little bits that I was disappointed that I wasn't able to get across in the RP as effectively as I wanted. Was the timeline of this conversation that Izzy had with Erica down at the where the ruined front gates were through this shell was the same time in which you were actually in Erica's tent.
What?
And the first scream that you all heard was, of course, Erica's reaction to some of what Isabella and she were speaking about. Erica basically, what are you doing here? I want this city kind of thing. And is he refusing that kind of stuff? So this sibling rivalry or spat they were having. I kicked myself to not get that through into the RP properly, but
yeah.
Let's try to get that into the RP again. We have a request for you to scream again.
I don't think I'm gonna be doing the scream.
Come on. Scream. We got a couple requests
that
now.
Scream was
the
so
people
good.
are speaking. They're chanting.
It was John who originally screamed, wasn't it?
No, it was Leland.
I was.
Leland literally
Leland
cut
did.
me off because I was being dumb and chatting like always, and he was like, ah!
That's much more witchy coven.
I don't
or not witchy than club. Sorry, I should
something
say.
like that.
Yes, we don't use the C word here, John.
Club?
The club.
they're both C's.
Bill with the genius.
Group.
Genius
As a
thoughts.
group.
That's
right.
big brain
Yeah.
thinking, Bill. Big brain.
So anyway, 105 does get us into a lot of information as we dig into this.
Spoiler alert, Jessica.
So we go
shut
in,
it off.
and
You're not caught up.
I know when we went in and, well, from Shaft's perspective, what do we need to do to get out of here, of course, as typically, because he knows he doesn't want to fight Isabella, right? So, hey, take this thing and take it to the boat and we're good. After that, we have a lot of conversation about, we find out that Kralakina has a little bit of a relationship with Mia. You want to go into that a little bit more, Mia?
I mean, as Emily kept repeating, she might be lying.
What do you think?
From what
At this point in the story, do you think Mia believes it?
Mia does believe it, actually. Or at least does not dismiss the idea. Because the gods and their machinations that she read and did not share with you was basically, where it was bunny-eared or whatever it was the family tree. of Thor and all that. And
Yeah.
yeah, there's just
So how does that, Thor vanquished Kralakina, right?
yeah. So
Well, Emma does say in the chat that Izzy wouldn't lie. And
Yeah,
I have
right.
to agree with her. I mean, when has Isabella lied?
whoa, has she?
We don't have it. I will say, I don't think we have evidence of Isabella lying as of yet.
As far as we know.
Are you serious
Right.
though? Okay,
Yeah.
I guess I wouldn't know that. I haven't listened to
Well,
it.
like I said, she's so arrogant. She doesn't have to lie. She
Yeah.
can tell you exactly what it is, and you just can't do anything
So
about
to
it.
remind the
That's true.
listener, gods and their machinations. It was about a variety of celestial beings, but an earmarked page was a family tree. The plot of Talos and Telena against Thor, which was Thor and Telena are like married, right? And Talos is the son. The daughter foresaw this and warned Thor. Telena killed Xena, the daughter, and the other daughter. I don't have a name. But anyway, Thor killed his wife and son in combat, apparently, for rising up against him. But then there was a discovered incest in their relationship and a child, and then Thor decided not to slay them, but banished them and locked them away. And I grew up learning that Thor had killed Talos and Telena, but it suggests that he couldn't kill them. It was kind of vague. He imprisoned them. And, this mystery child. And I mean, the backstory that I wrote about Mia was all about her questioning where her power comes from and feeling that she's godlike, but also unsure of herself and going off on her own and trying to learn her own limits and getting her own strength and confidence. And Mia's pretty strong. I don't know. I kind of, and Herafina intervening on behalf of Thor, like the Pegasuses and stuff.
So it doesn't concern you that the Kralakina is part of the bloodline?
I'm not quick to dismiss whether that's true or not, I guess. Yeah, it concerns me. And in that episode, I remember we gave Shakara quite a long, pause to be like, hold on. Emily needs to get her thoughts together.
It wasn't that long.
Okay.
But you were ready to just go ahead and forge forward.
I
Yeah,
was.
you did have time to talk about it, and then we went on.
But then my news was dropped, and I just didn't, as Mia's character, didn't say anything because I was, digesting it all.
Yeah, it was a lot to process.
It is really hard sometimes in roleplay to, have a bomb dropped and be like, what? What would Mia do? So,
Yeah.
she did.
I
She
know
just got
exactly
quiet.
what you're talking about.
No, yeah, she just got quiet. So, I mean, if you will, I think, I'm not quick to dismiss it, let's transition into Shakara's news.
Well, that's where I was going to go next. Let's talk about the next big
Before we
information.
do, I do want to say that this knowledge that Kralakina and Talos are one and the same could possibly have been discovered by Falzarin when he and Shaft saved Slava. Slava did mention in that conversation that Kralakina did used to go by a different name, but like you say, Elena, in the role play, sometimes it's hard to want to, hindsight's always 20/20. In the role play, Falzarin didn't question Slava about that comment, and the main goal was, listen, this is what's going down. Get your peeps and get the fuck back here to help us, kind of thing.
And little teeny tidbits do come out when I listen back. So this would be 106, but I listened back to what Slava said, and he had tied Telena to the matron's vessel. Didn't catch that.
Right.
So, I mean, you never know. But big bomb that Shakara supposedly expected. Emily thought would happen.
Well, good job, Emily, if you saw that coming, because I didn't.
There were little hints that I don't think I really consciously pieced together, but when he said it, I was like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Just another day.
So Dendar up here, Isabella down here,
Shakara way down there.
way down, and then Falzarin is
Shakara and Campbell. It's not just
both.
Shakara, it's Shakara
Oh,
and
right.
Campbell.
Yeah.
I wonder what kind of stuff he's been up to.
What I would like to know is, what is Campbell getting from this? Like, what sort of powers has Campbell got? Does he also
Dark
just
vision,
take
languages.
some warlock stuff, or is he getting like different powers?
Eldritch
Yeah,
Blast.
what's he doing on the mainland? If we could ever get off this god's forsaken island, maybe.
Yeah. Well, he makes superior health potions pretty quick, right?
Yeah, I
It
would
does.
assume he's probably getting different powers than Shakara is, but obviously from the same source,
He's
but
getting some
something that's more attuned to what he would use and need.
Right, something that would be attractive to him to pursue down this avenue that he has been taken by the hand and led.
So whatever happened when we had kind of talked about how Isabella would send someone else to get this job done, right? Like we had kind of talked about that, danced around it. And then Shakara was told to kill Falzer and like...
Well, yeah, and Bill even said he thought maybe I was the one that was sent.
Right.
And I was like, no, it's not me. No.
Well, yeah, we said... Oh my gosh.
Maybe.
I think it was you. Oops. And where does Keck fall into this? Oh my gosh.
Keck is the worst. She's evil.
What happened to Keck?
Yeah, where is Keck?
Well, yeah, who knows? Somebody knows, of course. Quite frankly, I think you're the pot, and Keck was simply the stick that stirred it, right?
Yeah.
As far as Isabella is concerned.
The burb that stirred it.
Yeah, the burb that stirred it.
Yeah, little derp scions.
Do you think Campbell knows that Dendar, the serpent mother, doesn't even know he exists?
No.
And that Isabella's given the power?
No, not at all. Campbell and I are both
know.
Firmly believed it was Dendar.
You believe everything? So you knew Campbell was involved in this whole club?
I will say that, like...
well, not club, but...
Mia has knowledge of Dendar.
Sorry, the C word. Oh, the group.
Well, like, Leland's told me before, I have knowledge of Dendar, but there's not specific saying, like, he's an evil god, blah. Right? She. I'm pretty sure that there was no mention that he was evil.
Yeah, no, I think you, like, your character knows that Dendar's actually not a god. Dendar's a primordial. They're kind of a different, but they're not celestial, right?
You referred to her as the serpent mother, right?
It's a powerful being.
Right.
And Campbell and I very much went into it together.
Yeah.
In fact, Campbell invited Shakara to his shop to
it's all Campbell's fault.
Look at this pretty blue box that mysteriously showed up at his door one night.
Yep.
Ooh, okay.
Such bad influence. Okay. But such a great accent, though, right?
Just remember, we always got to think when we need a German, you got to be careful.
999.
Oh, I hope none of our listeners are German.
Hey, Germany, what up?
What? I didn't say anything bad. I just said, be aware.
I just inferred it.
If you'll allow us to take a peek behind the screen, as our after party is described as doing, whose idea was the, like, warlock situation? Was it... So it was Emily's. Okay.
It was because a friend of ours had a paladin and he was multi-class and warlock, and I went, ooh, that sounds cool. I want to do that too. So I said to Leland, I want to do this. And Leland went, yes.
Did you know?
Yes.
Are warlocks usually evil? Is that a thing we should know?
No, warlocks do not have to be evil. They can have good patrons.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not an inherently evil thing. I missed being evil.
So you were like, I'm going to be lawful good. And then you were like, I missed.
Are you kidding me right now?
No.
Emily is the
Goodness,
worst.
Emily.
The truth comes out, ladies and gentlemen.
Look, I live with her. It's not a shock to me.
I mean, John is not shocked. Oh my gosh.
You've managed to create an evil paladin.
I just can't even
Those
right
exist
now.
too. You can have
They
a
do
paladin.
exist.
They do
Anti-paladin,
exist.
like Ian says, like a good warlock can also have an evil patron as well, which, I mean, quite frankly, is, I think, very much the case with Shakara and Izzy. Although, again, I'm still of the opinion that Isabella's she's not full evil.
Just 99%?
I mean, the more levels you take, the more evil
Well,
you
actually,
are.
really only about 20% because of that E in her last name. It's just one of 5 letters. So about 20% evil.
And she's a lot more than 20%.
Oh, man. This is just...
So Isabella does say to Shakara, join us and be the third sister. Very clearly.
In front of Falzred.
In front of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Falsey's off the hook.
Now, yeah, Falsey's off the hook, but she's not taken the scabbard off just yet, right?
What a friggin' jerk.
Good thing Shaft looks out for Falsey, right?
I mean, yes.
There was 2 things that I think, for Shaft's perspective, was I did like when I found out about Shakara and Mia to basically go, here's another example, Falzren. Yeah, I know.
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah. That was such a good quote.
I know. Yeah, I know. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I know.
I know.
That's exactly. There's a lot said in those words. And then I think we brought this up before. The only stipulation Shaft has is I put the thing on the boat. I come back here. I go back, which I don't need to go back. Right? There's many ways to get off the island. I just don't need to go back and use the little window. But hey, let's get this thing off of Falzren's chest. And I think mainly because you owe me.
Right?
Right?
Yeah.
There's about 56 episodes of Shaft not wanting to do stuff.
Yeah. Poor Shaft. Shaft is the real victim out of all of this entire story.
So
Been
He makes a
dragged
good vessel.
along.
He was like cutting me off, and I'm like, when I talk in 106, I'm talking to
because
Slava.
you're giving away information that I didn't want you to be
I'm
talking
talking
about.
to Slava, and I'm like, well, so my mom, Talena.
Yeah, it's like, no, wait, stop. You don't know what you're saying. You don't know the consequences of what you're saying to these people. They might decide they need to take you out.
You know what, though? Like, as a character, I stick by that choice that she just was like, blah, to like someone that
Right.
was
I'm trying.
supposedly-
Yeah, we were trying to save you from yourself.
Very young. Yeah, no, it was very good. It was good role play.
You know how frustrating it is for like a bounty hunter that likes to keep secrets to walk around with you 3? It's like having a billboard on you everywhere you go.
Oh, man.
Well, we did get the line from Isabella to Falzren. You are like a cockroach, impossible to kill. I like that.
That's right. That was a good line.
I mean, there's a little bit of truth in that.
I've been
Holy
calling you
hell,
La
you are
Cucaracha since.
finding it difficult to be rid of.
You drop him off a Pegasus.
So what do you...
I thought Falsey was dead.
We've had questions. What's Shakara gonna do? What does she want to do? Lots to think about.
There is a lot to think about, and there are so many issues. I think Shakara's greatest fear at this time is that she would be made to be Izzy's lapdog or attack dog, and that is not what she wants. So, and then she also doesn't want to be trapped on that island. So,
If you don't want to be leashed, I mean...
There is the offer of great power, and she's given you the thing you love the most, right? You're familiar, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
well, I do like my Sparky.
You do like familiars.
Well, it's not your Sparky. You're just allowed
It's
to
her
use
Sparky.
it. No, it's
Yeah.
it's
Emily
not-
likes
it's
a
not
good
hers.
familiar, you know?
Yeah, I do.
It's only semi-familiar.
Just an acquaintance.
The question is, how power hungry is Shakara? Because really, like, the Shakara we met at least was obsessed with just doing good deeds and, like, making her mark
2 weeks ago.
on the world.
Yeah.
A lot
He
happens
works
in 2 weeks.
fast.
Yeah, I mean, Shakara, like, does want power in order to protect Aspara, and how better to protect Aspara than by being a powerful being, right? More power I have, the fewer people that can stand against me.
That's the same thing Alamar thought.
Exactly.
Oh,
So Shakara-
snap.
So Shakara
And
was
what did
evil.
Alamar? What did you say to Alamar? What was your arrogant little response to Alamar?
What did I say?
Yeah, something about your shine has a tarnish.
Ah, yeah.
Oh.
Like
maybe
the
I'm gonna
pot
put that in
calling
my
the
back
kettle
pocket.
black, huh?
Yeah.
That sounds like something to say back to Shakara at some point in time.
Oh my gosh. So if she's that power hungry, I didn't
I
see
don't
that
think
coming.
she's really that power hungry, but if it's going to be dangled in front of her, she's not going to turn it down.
Yeah, I mean, she said as much to Isabella as well in that conversation.
Wow. All right, so Shakara's going to stay on Heraklion. Great.
No. So Shakara needs to talk to Isabella again to see what Isabella's going to say, to see that Falzarin gets released, because that is important. I don't know. I can't make any decisions right now.
Mechanically, what does happen if they're released of their bonds to Isabella?
We don't know, and we don't want Leland to tell us.
They level up quite a few levels.
They become a level 12 wizard.
Yes.
I don't want to be a wizard.
Talking about Falzarin.
I mean, there's lots of routes that I could go down, and I think it is really going to ultimately depend on how your characters may go about severing that tie. I mean, you've been given a couple different avenues of to pursue potentially.
Okay, so
Some
you're
may
saying
be harder than others.
there's a difference.
Doing the ritual with the phlogiston, which we barely have enough phlogiston
It could
for
just
one.
be a drop of
maybe.
phlogiston.
Well, we don't know how much phlogiston
Could be
you
a
need.
drop of phlogiston,
that's
a
true.
drop of blood on your tongue. Mm.
Oh, boy.
Drink my blood.
So what do you think, Falzarin, about the whole Izzy situation? Are you okay with her staying in power if that ultimately is the end result?
Honestly, I've been really struggling over the past, week? Probably, maybe even a couple weeks now.
In game time?
No, in
real time since we
Bill has been
played.
struggling.
Yeah, we've had some chats off
I don't
mic.
know what Falzarin is. I'm trying to. I want to make decisions based on what Falzarin would do, and it's tough. It's tough to figure out what. Also, it should be noted that we haven't played much farther than what's released right now, so decisions still have yet to be made about what's going to happen with Heraklion and etc. So.
I mean, she's giving you an out right now, and as we're talking to her, she's saying essentially, I mean, the deal is she'll pop that off, and then, are you good with her being there? Are you good with Shakara being on as number 2?
Well, that's what I need to decide, right?
Yeah, like when will we be coming back to kill Shakara?
Is it going to be a Shakara Falsey battle for the position by Erica's side?
But
Isabella's
who
side?
number
Yeah.
2 work for?
I don't think that's very likely. Like, I think Falzarin is regretting his foolish. Well, it wasn't.
Well, you would have been
it
dead,
was.
though.
It was a choice, but it wasn't really a choice.
Yeah.
So, yes, he was interested in the extra power that Izzy was offering, but at the same time, if his life weren't on the line, he may have not said yes to that deal.
Yeah.
And now that he's seen the dark side of Izzy, he's definitely no, I want no part of this deal, I think.
Speaking of, have Shakara and Mia even seen the dark side of Izzy yet?
You mean other than raising people from the dead by killing somebody else?
Yeah, no, I mean, we have not seen her hag form. And would that change Shakara's opinion of joining her?
I think we know she's not a good person. She's not a righteous person. So I would think that'd be just a case of her outsides matching her insides at that point.
But you're a hot dragonborn. You young, you sexy. You don't need to hag it up.
Would you be okay if the Kraken's gone? Would you be okay leaving Shakara and Isabella to run Heraklion?
I don't know because it's.
I mean, Shakara, Shakara.
It's getting
and
weird because Shakara is the one who convinced me not to trust her because she was being nice to me, telling me she's evil, raising the dead, not my thing as a cleric. My form of clericism. I don't know. I can see it happening because we don't have the strength to sort of follow through on any plan right now. But it would still always be in the back of my mind that there's something to be taken care of in Heraklion, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know.
We've got a comment from chat, which I think leads us into what Shakara's opinion on all of this would be. So Emma asked, wouldn't Shakara be like, hey, Izzy raises all those flesh golems. Isn't that like against nature?
I am looking up something specifically. Hold on a second.
So yeah, I'm curious. I mean, I know Shakara has evolved over the recent past of the happenings in Aspara.
Obviously.
So yeah, I think Emily's the only one who can say where Shakara stands on all of this business. Because I think when Falsey first met Shakara, she would have been 100% against what Izzy stands for.
Yeah, I'm being Oath of the Ancients. It's all about kindle the light, shelter the light, preserve your own light, and be the light. So, trying to find a good thing to say. Where there is good, beauty, love, and laughter in the world, stand against the wickedness that would swallow it. Yeah, Shakara probably wouldn't be all loving the whole flesh golem thing, killing somebody to raise others. But it was an extreme situation. The entire island was going to be blasted to nothingness. Something needed to be done, and Shakara did not have a better plan at that time. None of us did.
Well, it's not like you didn't object to Eccles' sacrifice. I mean, Shakara was shocked and called out, like, what are you doing? He's dying.
Yeah.
I think the point that Isabella, or Tulsa and... What's the other one? Not Salsa.
And Tulsa.
Salsa and...
Shut up. Their point of, like, he's willingly giving his life is interesting. And are those flesh golems made of people that were already dead in a city full of dead? You know, is it just a material that she's working with? She's not
right,
killing...
I think that's what Shakara saw it as. It was already dead people that she was bringing back, she was putting life back into to defend the city.
I mean, to be honest, that even makes me a wonder, because there are certain angles of necromancy you can play as a cleric as well. So it's just, you know.
Well, remember when we were talking to the former triplets, they did mention that they were behind Isabella, and probably a good portion of the city wants to go that way because Alamar was holding them back from learning different types of magic.
A good portion of the city wants more freedom, not necessarily or Isabella as a leader.
So my point being, if Isabella is going to give them that, and is to say, for example, most of the city want that, is it not right to let them have that?
Yeah, what if they're the majority? What if they are the majority?
Exactly.
It's interesting.
You're putting your thoughts on what's right and wrong.
You've become the dictator.
Do we want to have some democratic debate between Isabella and Dragon Falzarin? I mean, like, what do we want? A good democracy is going to have a vote?
I think that if Falzarin thought that Izzy didn't plan on running the city like a despot and just ruling with an iron fist, he might be all right with leaving her there to, you know, like the twins, formerly triplets, had said. You know, there's a decent amount of folks on Heraklion who felt oppressed under Alamar because they wanted to explore alternative, less traditional types of magic, and Alamar was against that, but Izzy is fine with that. That's fine in Falzarin's eyes, but if Izzy's going to, you know, turn Heraklion into this place where people who don't see eye to eye to her are oppressed, and who knows what's done to anyone who doesn't want to get in line underneath Isabella's rule, that's not going to be all right with Falzarin.
So what did Alamar do to keep? You lived there. Was he keeping everybody from doing what they wanted?
I don't think like Alamar. Pardon?
Spankings.
Oh, spankings.
Oh
my.
Time for the Alamar spankings. Everyone line up. Time to go to the keep.
I mean,
I've been a naughty boy,
he's an
Alamar.
authoritarian parent, you know what I mean?
No wonder he was arthritic.
Yeah, I think Alamar very much like squashed any of that sort of thing, but like Falzarin didn't keep his opinions that clashed with Alamar's secret, and he wasn't physically persecuted, like beaten or chained up in jail or anything like that. You know what I mean? He was just told to keep his opinions to himself, sort of thing.
And lots of books were banned or missing or
Right. Yeah.
Not available.
There was definitely
I mean,
some.
there wasn't a democracy, right? Alamar was in control, and he had the other council, but he was really the one that made the rules, right?
Yeah.
Is that
Seemed
right,
like.
Leland?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, yeah.
So it was a dictatorship.
Mm-hmm.
And he even said he's ruled Heraklion for hundreds of years, I think he said, right?
Yeah. I mean, Alamar's, the Zelwics founded Heraklion, the city of Heraklion.
So maybe it won't be
He
any
loves
worse.
the Brightwoods. Oh, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Falzarin is just very, very wary that if he leaves Isabella unchecked there, bad stuff is going to happen to innocent citizens of Heraklion.
I mean, we have a suggestion in the chat. Jess says, are there other people that could be elders to temper Izzy? I don't know.
Drag.
I don't think she would allow that.
Probably.
I think Shakara would be an elder, right?
Yeah, maybe. You think the other sister? You think the other sister, Jessica, is going to come out of the woodwork and be an elder now?
Oh, Jessica's going to show up in chapter 3, I guarantee.
Oh, yeah. That frickin' hag. She's got to be a hag, right?
Have any of us actually seen Jessica?
No.
No.
Not that we're aware of, anyway.
Maybe she's smoking hot. Falsey's
Yeah,
going to
just
move
like
on from
Janina.
one sister to the next.
As if Falzarin has a libido. Like,
I mean, I it's got to be clear to some listeners for sure that like the only person that had an interaction with Jessica was Gozer.
wait, she had. What? When?
What?
Huh? What?
What?
I'm sure
Spoilers for us.
Listeners like Ian were able to put some with some of their meta knowledge together.
Wait.
But outside of
Explain.
the city of Victor.
Yes.
I remember,
Oh,
Victor
yes,
we heard
yes.
about. I think Isabella
Were we on
told
mic?
was talking about her sister. I mean, that's what we found out about it. We were in Goldham at the time, though. I
Do you
believe.
remember when Gozer had a bad dream?
Yeah, and she like
Oh,
sucked
yeah?
some life out of her and stuff, and I helped you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was Jessica?
Oh, I don't know if I want to know.
So wait,
this.
if Erica was a sea hag and Isabella is a flesh golem hag, what is Jessica?
I'm not sure
A
that's the
nightmare
exact
hag.
term.
A dream.
Well,
health
she was
point
in
stealing-
Victor.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Victor's the disease.
Because Victor
city,
had
so-
that tower. Yeah.
Yeah.
the clock
Yeah,
tower.
the clock tower.
That's
What?
been there for about 2 years. I
Yeah, not
believe.
very long.
Gosh.
Hastily
Jessica.
constructed and erected since the last time Shaft has been there.
Yeah.
I hate hags.
The damnedest thing is there's always 3 of them. Just God. I think you got rid of 1 and 2 more pop
Where
up.
there's one, there's 3.
They're like Hydra heads. All right, let's see. Where are we
who
here?
knows?
So let's see. The former triplets jump on the crabs, head out over the side. And now I will say, when we were there, I thought we were there with them, and we were going to go out of the city with them, and go attack the boats, and they were going to provide some way for us to get there. And then when they just sort of climbed over, I was like, well, why were we sitting here for the last 20 minutes?
So we could have a lovely conversation with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I was trying to get a little bit of information out of.
Oh, you were real
unbeknownst to
chatty.
them, right? I figured they would, maybe drop some information unknowingly, but
Chikara gave you
once
sass.
again, I felt like at that point, Falzarin was being listened to. That's why the winks that you didn't pick up on. I couldn't get any bigger wink.
Yeah.
You know,
Wink.
she's doing a great thing.
I just love that whole thing. Shaft was like, every chance he got, was like, all right, sounds good. Let's get at her. Pitter patter.
Now, dude, I don't think that she's going to necessarily hold up her end of the bargain.
Oh, you don't think she'll ship you out of...
I do think she thinks I'm just shady enough that she doesn't have any reason to get rid of me. Right? And never know. It could be to her benefit to let me go.
Possibly. Yeah. I mean, surely she has an idea of what she would like to do with each and every one of you.
Oh, whoa.
Oh, really?
I know. We established mine in Zexa.
Oh, yeah. It's been a long time coming.
You'd make a great vessel, right?
I don't think she was interested in me as a vessel, but I didn't know for sure. We don't know how deep she goes with the
We have
with that part of the story.
no idea what Isabella's plans are. Why is she in Heracleon?
No.
Why is Heracleon so important to both sisters?
Why does she
Yeah.
need to tell me who my real dad is? Gosh.
Well, and like how much overlap as far as machinations is there, I guess was there, with Izzy and Erica. I mean...
Yeah, were they working together at all?
Right.
Yeah, right? They're obviously at odds, at least somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Emma says maybe they've all been hooking up with Mia's dad. He is happily married to my mom. Thank you.
To
His mom. His mom.
I mean, wait.
So his fault.
Wait, no, he's not married. No. Which dad are we talking about?
Now.
Wait, time out. Which dad? Because dad is really
You got a lot of them.
father. Okay.
Suddenly twice as many father figures in your life.
It's
Yeah, you better.
It's a bit of
map that family tree.
it's a bit
out
of an
again.
unusual family tree in Mia's family.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so we finally decide we're gonna go take on the other boats on the other side of the island, and we get some yelling for the Pegasus to come. The Pegasi.
We asked Dreg if he thinks that Alstoff really can turn the beams into weapons.
Into a weapon, yeah.
And Dreg pledges his undying loyalty to us. At least that's the way I heard it.
To
Dreg
Heracleon.
is-
No, to Heracleon.
I mean, he's clearly grown quite fond of all of you.
It's been a
Very
long
short amount of
3
time.
days. Yeah.
Dreg is perhaps the most heroic character in this entire campaign.
Oh, 100%.
He might be the only
give you
truly good
True
person
hero,
in
yeah.
all of this book.
Yeah, I think you're probably right there.
Hey, I take offense to that. I think I'm good. I mean, if you want to hold it against me, the Kralikin is my father. And...
Well, yeah, okay, Mia thinks she's good, but so does Shakara. So
Yeah, I mean,
Hell, so does Falzarin. I think the only one that's truly self-actualizing here is Shaft.
it's true.
I've been upfront with everybody from the
yeah, I
beginning.
mean,
we all live in denial.
caught me off guard with that one for a second. I mean, is a lie of omission a lie? It's like
Not to Shaft,
it's like the
it's not.
whitest of lies, right?
Yeah.
That's all Izzy could really be guilty of is lies
Omission?
of omission.
That's right. Not everybody needs to know everything.
Exactly.
That's where she and I are on the same page.
Look,
there.
I've learned for over a year and a half of podcasting with Bill, if you give someone too much information, they'll just forget most of it.
Oh. You got some aloe?
That's why he spills the beans minutes after he learns something. So he doesn't have to
To
remember.
reinforce it, yeah, can spread it around a little
help us
bit.
write
I'm
it down.
hoping that someone else will remember it.
Oh, man.
All right, so we fly to the boats.
Finally.
That's the end of 105. So
Oh, do we want to talk about the barking stones?
Oh my gosh, trinkets! Bunch of frickin' trinkets.
Oh, that's all I just wrote down. Barking stones! Exclamation point! Question mark! Exclamation point!
that's on 106 because we fly over to the boat. Dreg's on holding on, and we're flying over together. I think Mia and Shakara are on there to sort of balance out the evil, and and Falzarin's on his own just in case he falls off to his death. Nobody wants to be with him. So it's all a safety measure for everything that we're doing.
Mia
it's
wasn't
good.
sure what she wanted to do, to be honest, because, like, Shakara's like, screw Izzy, she's evil. Then she's like, oh, my power's from Izzy. Okay, we'll help her. Like, just...
No, that's not exactly how it went.
Okay.
It was, screw Izzy, she's evil. She's hurting Falzarin. Oh, my powers come from her? What the hell happens if we do kill her? Maybe we don't want to do that just yet.
And I was kind of like, maybe I don't want you on my horse right now. But it made sense. It's so, we'll hash it out another time.
And she's the only one that's got a plan to stop these boats from attacking the city.
Yeah.
It is not the greatest of plan, but
Sure.
it is a plan.
You know what is interesting about the whole plan? Like, because the party's knowledge of the approaching Tritons. Did that not factor in any of your decisions to be like, okay, like we'll take this pyramid thing and...
Yeah. I mean, I thought when we dump the pyramid off, we're done. We go back
get
to
out of
Izzy.
there.
Tritons take care of the Kraken.
That's what Shaft thought.
We're
Is that
golden.
really what John thought?
John probably thought that John probably thought Leland's not going to let that happen. There's going to be a Kraken
Exactly.
fight. That's what John thought. But Shaft was like, I think we've done everything we can here. We're not going to be able to kill Kraken. These Tritons have fought Krakens before, and they've killed them. So, who are we to help?
But the
Right.
Tritons are so far away still. We didn't know exactly when they
Well,
were coming.
Yeah, I guess we come to find that.
he
Or how
contacted
many.
them.
Yeah, but we didn't know when or how many, and it was going to be a while, wasn't it? Isn't that what we knew?
You didn't know. You had no idea.
It kind of became like the devil versus, like we can beat her or go against her one day, but right now, like, let's stop this island from sinking. I don't know.
We need to use what she has to be able to stop
Yeah.
what's going on, right? It's like you're all becoming little shafts.
Keep your enemies
Manipulated
close.
and using other people to get what you want. We are growing.
I
as a
mean,
party,
I
aren't
see
we?
it as enabling Isabella. But
Oh,
okay.
yeah. I mean, it is.
So, Thunder McScruggins was probably on one of those boats.
Yeah, I mean, where else is it going to be?
Probably.
Well, that's what I said. I hope Thunder will make it out, but hey, that's what you get when you join a cult.
He's just a lowly cultist.
No guarantee.
I really thought we'd be flying down there and we would see him fighting a metal man or something, and it would give us that moment of, should we save Thunder? And I was waiting for that, but
Well, maybe he pulled something out of his bag of tricks that helped him get off the boat
Him
and get
and
away.
a baboon.
His
is-
baboon.
Found that
He's riding the back of a baboon over to the
the
mainland.
island of misfit NPCs.
Baboons.
That's right.
Well, I mean,
that's
that is the unfortunate thing with guest NPCs is they leave a stamp on the world, but ultimately their story's left unfinished because like we can't do anything with them really,
Right.
right? I mean,
Yeah,
Emma would
where's
disagree.
Wolfgang? Yeah, Emma would
Right.
disagree.
so yeah, I would have loved to narrate some Thunder action, but can't have you swooping down there and then having to interact with them again.
It'll have to wait for March Madness
Like
next
you just
year.
can't do it. It's unfortunately a sad thing.
Maybe Thunder will take it all next March Madness, You never know.
Maybe.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so let's see what I got here. So Dreg and I become invisible. We land down on the back of the boat. I run over. I hide the pyramid in the rope. Jump back on the horse. Remember, I didn't hit the button. Jump back off the horse or the
Pegasus.
and go Pegasus and click it. So it's working supposedly. And almost immediately when we get in the air, they're coming through the portal. So
Boom,
they're
boom, boom.
they were sitting there ready to go. And after that, we pretty much all just sort of flew up, had a little conversation in the sky, and watched the damage being done, right?
Yep. Watch the
And
fireworks.
then we start
so to speak.
we start our little flying the Pegasi back and forth across the city a multitude of times.
Yeah.
Well, it makes the Tritons come sooner. It's fine.
I just fly circles until I get here.
There's a certain point where I'm reminding Leland, I'm like, well, it's probably 9.5 hours now. Wink, wink. Like, let's make sure time is passing.
So yeah, it sounds like it looked like there was quite a battle between the cultists, the metal men, and the on the boats, and there were some quite a bit of. It wasn't like it's all one sided either. It was going back and forth. The cultists were holding their
Oh, yeah.
own.
I mean, you've all seen some of the damage some of those Kraken priests can do, right? Obviously,
Yeah.
they're not all a Kraken priest level of power, but they do have numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2 Triton ships show up and join the fight.
Mm-hmm.
The manta ray ship.
For some reason, I
yeah.
wrote down Tritons are epically buttery.
What? What kind of note
Think
is
that's what
that?
it says? I'm not entirely sure that's what
Buttery.
it says. I can't really read my
Like,
handwriting.
super savory. Ooh,
Okay, so that doesn't mean
Slava.
anything to you guys.
Yum.
Maybe Triton's a delicacy at Shakara's village. It
Just melts in your mouth.
Yeah.
melts in your mouth.
What the heck does that say?
Buttery.
That's all I can figure out what that is. And then we decided to check on the Kraken.
They didn't
Slava.
seem too interested in their Kraken friend who was dead.
Triton friend
You
was
mean-
dead,
yeah.
yeah.
Or
Oh,
sorry,
yeah, I
Triton
got that
friend.
Their
down,
Yeah.
Kraken friend.
Well, you're talking about Bernie?
Oh, Bernie.
Yeah, Bernie.
I
Yeah.
just,
Especially?
yeah.
Does that
It
say?
was a whole decision I made as Mia that, like, hey, if these guys are all so powerful, they only sent 8 of them. Why are we not bringing one back? But they're like, he knew what he was doing.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
You get a message from Falzer and you don't call the whole army
Yeah,
out.
oh, yeah,
You send a
yeah.
couple people to verify that,
I mean-
what he's saying
I
is
mean,
true.
to be fair,
right?
you get a message from anybody. You don't call the whole army out, not specifically from
No, I was
Falzer.
specifically saying Falzer.
I mean, he did
see
say
how it is.
Kraken, right? So, I mean,
You can flip me off, but they'll see it on camera.
Live after party.
So yeah, I mean, I think we have some discussion. We move back and forth. We go over to see how Halsta and Chalsta are doing.
To see if there was any
they
more
seem to be
Tritons.
Yeah, they're holding their own, right? It sounds like they were up there just ripping those crabs. Seem pretty cool.
Yep.
We do have a quick discussion on whether we go back and check on the Kraken. What do we do next after we see everything sort of being handled, really? And then we talk about. I said we do go to the cave where the Kraken is to check in to make sure and find out the Kraken is growing bigger. Relatively quickly from the last time we were there, because it was only less than a day
Yeah, less than a day.
since we were there last time. And then I think Shaft theorized that if he continued to grow, he would just grow bigger than the tank, and I think just die. Nobody seemed to believe that as a good theory.
yeah.
Shakara said it's maybe like a goldfish,
Yeah.
like you win at the fair kind of
Grows
thing.
to fit
It's
the
not
size
one
of the
those-
tank.
There was speculation
right,
over whether
yeah.
it was the crystal or the phlogiston. I mean,
Yeah, Falzarin says, hey, that's mixed in with that really flammable black stuff that would come in handy, maybe.
I mean, I wanted to drain it. I'm just gonna throw it out there right now. Mia wanted to drain it.
Well, yeah, we
on record.
tried to drain it once before. We did a part of it, and then I wanted to drain it too, a long time ago too, and then we decided not
But we
to.
Well, yeah, we
Yeah.
decided not to because we were afraid it could take control of the portal and make it bigger and come out.
For sure. And
That's
again,
right.
there's dead stuff in that cave. That if
Yeah, and the dead stuff
resuscitant-
in the cave.
And we
The
desperately
resuscitant get
needed
all
a
over it.
rest.
Yes.
Rest was on our minds for sure.
So I think that those are the reasons why we decided not to try and gamble with draining it. I think all of us thought
Right.
draining it probably wasn't a bad idea, but the timing was bad.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And then banishment came up once again, and I think we walked through that option and decided not to do
Yeah,
that
once
option
again, the timing was bad. If
I
we had
don't
all
have
had a
spell
long
slots,
rest and
man.
had all of our spell slots and had all of our HP back, sure, let's open a hole and see if we can banish it or drain it or
Yeah,
whatever.
because Dread can banish too. So
Yeah, I actually misspoke. I said, sorry, Mia said that she could try once to banish. I actually have 3 4-level spell slots, so I could have tried 3 times.
But I think we decided that if there's a couple things, right? If you banish him, he has to be outside of that tank because it's not going to
Yep,
work within
yep.
it. So we have to get him out. And number 2, where's he going to go and for how long? Based
Yeah,
on
like going for a minute. Yeah,
how
yeah.
things were
And
gonna
like
happen.
again, sending him to the plane where Kralakina's on the loose for as far as we know from talking to Karos. Like, yeah. Yeah.
So we talk about that for a while. Then we go, well, let's go check on the Tritons. And we move on up to the east side again and see the direct Manta Ray ship where we see, I think we mentioned we see Bernie down there dead on the Manta Ray ship. We discussed it if it's Slava or not. We think it's the old Slava trap. You get down there and then bam,
ship pops
they
up.
get you. That's
That
right.
was
Every
hilarious.
time.
But no, but we do actually go down and meet Slava, right? Is that?
Yep.
This is where my notes start getting where we ran
When your
out of
notes
time
start
taking our
getting
notes.
buttery.
You retrieve Slava. You bring him back to the Kraken cave, and he sees the structure, and you kind of speak to him about it. And Mia wants to spill her guts of her
Yeah.
newfound lineage.
Had to interrupt her a couple
Yeah.
times to make her stop.
Yeah, but I like that. That stuff's fun. It's fun to play out.
Yeah, I think that is good role play when you're saying stuff that you know the rest of the party is going to try to put their finger over your mouth, but it does get very frustrating. I always keep to myself, will I pull my sword at this point?
I guess like in Mia's mind too, if she really believes or is starting to think that she's so tied to Thor, she knows that Thor's people and himself are really tight with the Tritons. So I'm like, it's fine. I'll be fine.
Sense.
I'm not gonna die. There's no threat to me.
That's very shafty too.
Yeah.
Man, you
I'm
guys are
just
coming
picking
around. I
up
really
what
like
you're
this
laying
role.
down.
That's pretty much it,
Yeah.
right? I think that we go back and we tiny hunt it.
Yeah, the Tritons go out to finish off the last of the cultist ships with Falzarin slinging his cantrips and helping out where he can.
And they tell us that there's more Tritons coming, but they're about 10 hours away.
Right.
That was an interesting choice, Falzarin, to go back out on the
yeah.
Pegasus to help with only cantrips in your pocket. It potentially, you might not have got a long rest, and we don't know. I mean, you could be hurting it. All the rest of us be rested up, and you still be cantrip.
You're
man.
cultist meat, bro.
Yeah, after I said that, I was like, why did I say that? It just seemed like the heroic thing to do.
So what cantrips do you have that could do anything?
Other than Eldritch Blast, because you can't
all
do that on
sorts.
top of the Pegasus.
Yeah. What's the one, Ray of Frost, that I used to use quite a bit?
Yeah, Firebolt.
Bill,
Firebolt.
magic missile, is that a cantrip?
No, it's
No.
level 1.
Yeah, you screwed. Why did you do that?
It will be very interesting, and the listeners gets to hear 107 to see if we got a long rest or not. Historically,
That's the new thing. That's the new cliffhanger.
Did
It's
they?
funny at the
Didn't
end of
they?
that play, Emily was like, "Oh, so you're leaving us on a cliffhanger now?"
That was funny. Oh, man. These were so fun to record. Oh,
Yeah, these are good
our
episodes.
campaign's so
Yeah.
good right now, you guys.
I feel like we just say that though every batch of 3.
We do.
I know, it's true.
Oh,
But they just keep getting better.
Every new 3, we're like, there's huge spoilers, you guys.
So, Taco Supreme says in the chat, I don't think we need to listen to know that you won't get another long
in
rest
the
in this
whole
campaign.
Oh,
in the
yeah,
whole
yeah.
campaign.
it's the only way I can
It's-
kill him, honestly. Like,
And we have a relevant question from Skjom from Facebook.
oh,
How do you, both players and characters, feel about the lack of downtime so far? Don't you just need to kick back and relax with a cold brew? Yeah.
A cold brew of Alebender Ale.
Yes.
that's right.
I think, I mean, part of me is like annoyed and frustrated that I can't have a couple days of rest to recuperate
some
and, make some scrolls, copy some spells into my spell book,
Alamar's
blah, blah,
book.
blah.
Yeah.
But it's keeping things tense.
Yeah, it
It's keeping
ratchets up the
up.
tension. Yeah, definitely.
So, part of me is like, well, the flip side is that it's keeping it interesting.
Definitely.
You don't want it to be easy mode.
Right.
I am happy that he's not giving us any levels of exhaustion.
Yeah.
yeah, you're narrowly avoiding
Yet.
those. That's right.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Not
We
yet.
get those little short
We
ones
are
in there every
leveling
once in a
up
while.
extremely fast, day-wise.
Yeah, the campaign's like,
We've been on
accelerating.
Heraklion. I've known the group 5 days or something. I was level 7. Now we're 9 or whatever.
I looking at it like in Kingdom Death you have lantern years, and a lantern year is not really a real year. It's like an accelerated timeline. So like 5 days in Aspara is more like a month for us. That's how I reconcile it.
So an Aspara day is like 83
The
hours.
sun
Yeah.
is up for,
well, I mean, we've mentioned before that, like, yeah, it's 5 days, but it's 120 hours.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Constant
24/7 that
Yeah.
you're together.
I mean, it'll be interesting. Like next time we travel, it's like, okay, you guys travel for a week. Boom, fast forward. It's like, we just spent 5 days. And how many episodes on Heraklion? I don't even know the first episode we were on Heraklion. Ugh.
It was way down there. It was like 63.
Yeah, man. 40 something.
Holy-
I put it on the
Yeah.
webpage.
Yeah.
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 I think
But-
20 of those episodes was just this last day.
It's true.
It's really fascinating how in-game time is so, what's the word, discordant from, number of hours of on-air time.
Yeah. Leland, you want to answer this? Jess has a question in the chat. Why, if you sit down for a long rest that gets interrupted, do you not get the benefits of short rest? I mean, if I go to sleep and then I get woken up after a few hours, at least I'm a bit rested.
Yeah, and Taco Supreme has jumped in there with his own answer. So I'll refer to that. So by the rules, you have to announce what kind of rest you are taking, but I find it totally fair to get a short rest during a long rest. Yeah, honestly, it really does just make sense. I mean, and we did retroactively give you that short rest. But I think we've had this conversation in the past, and I think I ruled it differently in the past, actually. So yay for consistency.
I look at it as,
for us.
Yeah, you took pity on us and gave us the benefit of a short rest.
Leland, we don't. The way we do things around here is different.
Yeah. The way we do things. Jess also wants us to have another shopping episode, which Mia is all about. She's flush with cash. I mean, let's go.
That is the
money.
That's
There's money in
the
this
one
bar.
thing. Yeah, I'm exchanging the passage of time for lack of money. So you get everything real fast, but you get no money.
Yeah, Mia doesn't have a lot of money, right? Didn't you dump all your money when you were talking to Campbell and for everything you had to get those potions and everything?
I don't know. Mia's got money. Mia is made of money.
Your family has money.
Your family has it, but you don't have a
You got
credit
nothing
card.
on you.
I mean-
Exactly.
I remember specifically you said, "It's okay, it's nothing. I can buy these potions for us."
Yeah.
Because you put out the cash.
I put out the
for us.
cash. I'm just a good patron,
You're a patron now.
Speaking of patron.
Really?
Oh, really? Patron.
Interesting.
Oh, that word. No.
That's called
I am, listen,
dodging the question and moving right
We
into.
don't say the P
I am
words.
a god.
Yes.
I am a celestial,
We don't see
apparently.
the P word, and we don't say the C word.
Oh, what? Oh, the coven. Okay. I was thinking
The
of the
other
other
C word.
word.
We don't say that word either.
Sounds like a
We have
kindergarten class.
Another question from our Discord Nye board game guy, Bill Ben. So does anyone think there's a chance Shakara or Falsey will become an elder?
Yeah, we kind of discussed that one already.
I think there's a chance. If we're being honest, we haven't played that far yet to where that decision is
Right.
going to come up or be forced upon us, or however it comes about organically. I don't know. I've been thinking about it a lot over the past week or
Losing
two.
sleep.
The only advantage you have to Isabella is you're a cockroach.
Yep.
It's true. She can step on me as many times as she wants, and I just scurry out from underneath.
Yeah,
her
with
boot.
those stilettos. Yeah, that's what Falsey likes.
Is he wear stilettos?
You make a good brother-in-law with
Oh,
Jessica.
my gosh.
That's why she's hanging on to you.
Oh, man.
I don't know. I think it's. I would say yes, it's a possibility, but we shall see how it plays out.
Yeah, well, that was the thing, like, kind of after we played this, right? We, like you were saying, Bill, you've been contemplating for a couple of weeks just where you want to take your character, because potentially we could, conceivably get to a point where maybe some of your characters could be retired, right,
Yeah.
from the campaign. If it just kind of no longer makes sense, if you want to be like 100% true to that character, that why would they stick around and go adventuring after all this shit that's gone down? Like, it's been a hell of a 5 days.
Yeah. And when I think about, like, when I'm sitting on my own contemplating this decision, that's ultimately what matters most to me as a player, is that I want to try and be as true to Falzarin as possible and, like, really, really do what he would do. I want to remove my opinion from the decision and try and think in Falzarin's shoes. And it's tough. It's tough to know exactly what he would do.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We got lots of episodes coming.
Yeah.
It's also kind of tough because part of what would factor into the decision are unknowns at this point. Like, if Falzarin knew for certain what Izzy's intents were and how her role was going to be realized on Heraklion. Like I said, if she's going to rule with an iron fist and be like doing terrible things to Heraklionians that don't see eye to eye with her, well, then Falzarin's not okay with that. But, maybe she's not going to be like that. I don't know.
And also, Jess points out Falsey owes Shaft 1,000 favors.
1,000.
That's the other thing, too. Yeah.
John has also pointed out.
I was paying Gozer. She's dead. Bryn and I were sort of in the same pact. She's dead. You're the only one left.
I noticed a common denominator here.
Somebody's got to help me with these damn towers.
Somebody's got to die next.
Right?
What towers?
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's very true. Like, Falzarin feels an obligation to Shaft, in part as well. So, it's a tough decision.
Emma says, did any of the characters think of using the Pegasus and just fly back to the mainland? John?
John, do you want to answer that?
Absolutely, multiple times. And don't think it wasn't brought up a couple of times as why wouldn't I just do this? But, I almost had a nice conversation with Dreg about it. Make him an offer.
That he can refuse.
He could, yeah. He's too good to take me up on that or go with me. But I do think that was an option, but at this point in time, we're running on some pretty good wins right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you're on a bit of a hot streak.
Erica's gone.
Yeah.
Chucky's gone. Sardos
We're on a
is
bit of a
gone.
roll.
Alamar's
Yeah.
gone.
Sardo is gone?
Ish. We think. We're not sure. His spirit,
Yeah.
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 Leland's giving a half smirk. I don't know.
And I think ultimately Shaft knows. You got Mia who can kick ass. We know that. We have Shakar. We're all on the same page of what needs to get done. And I can stay there and help from a distance to make sure things get done, right? Mm-hmm. But he's going to be, and if you want to bring up right now would be a good time to bring up the quote or the questions we had in Board Game Geek.
Oh yeah, that
to
post.
talk about if you want to read that post to sort of go over his impressions on our characters.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, we had a lot. We had a new member of our BGG guild, which, by the way, we have a BGG guild, in case anyone wants to join it.
I was just as surprised as all of you.
We have a what?
Post things on there because Dean will let us know if you do.
And we have a micro badge, which was made by Bill Ben, which is fantastic. Yeah. I think we've mentioned it in the past. Anyway, so Elias is our newest BGG guild member.
Elias.
Elias says lots of complimentary things about how awesome we are. And then he says he has, I guess they say they have a few comments about a few things throughout Chapter 1. So number 1 starts off with the best character of all, Falzarin. And Elias says, I don't know what's going on here.
So far I'm with him.
Good start.
A few episodes before, Bryn literally risks her life jumping inside a creature's body to save him. Meanwhile, Shaft is running away like a little baby. I have a separate rant on why it makes no sense to anyone to trust him after all of his cowardice in the early series, but table that for now. Cut to a few episodes later, and Falzarin is getting tight with Shaft, who would have let him die, questioning Bryn's decision to non-lethally take down someone who is clearly a cultist, and then bad-mouthing her right before his friend, that he probably should have realized was evil, killed her. Further, she went down trying to save his life even after all his sass. I know Bill said he feels guilty about the comment. I just want him to feel bad about more stuff.
Because Bryn's his favorite. He said that in all the happy, nice things at the beginning.
Yeah.
Skip over that. Fine.
Then Elias goes on to comment about Shakara. We all know what happened here, and it was unfortunate. Suffice to say, it was not the way Bryn should have gone. No need to dwell on this more. It was unfortunate. Sometimes that's just the way the sword falls.
Unfortunately.
The aura, though. We're so stupid. We shouldn't have. Leland is not allowed to drink while orchestrating a big monster
It's
fight.
not my job to remember Hikaru's aura.
Yeah, it's not his.
That's true.
I should have remembered that, and yeah, so that was doubly on me then.
Or Bryn, or any of us, really.
Whatever.
And then Elias' third point. Leland. In what way is it justifiable to make a natural one remove 2 death saves from an ally? First up, I know the natural one hurting yourself or an ally is a house rule, and I'm pretty down with that part. Secondly, I get that attacks against unconscious creatures have advantage in attacks where the attacker is within 5 feet is an auto crit. However, I see absolutely no way of justifying an accidental hit being an auto crit. I think it's clear that the reason an attack within 5 feet is an auto crit is because an attacker can easily hit a super damaging spot because the person isn't moving. For an accidental hit on a friend, this clearly wouldn't apply. If you want to be a stickler for the rules as written, maybe I can see it. But if you were being a stickler, a natural one wouldn't hit your friend. I know in a later after party that Leland mentioned he was pretty drunk this episode, so maybe I should be forgiving. But a rant is no place for forgiveness.
A rant is no place for forgiveness.
So
And
called
then,
out.
Elias finishes this all off with saying, anyway, Bryn was my favorite, and I was sad to see her go in such an abrupt and seemingly unfair way. Thus my passion. Keep doing what you're doing, folks. It's great to listen to.
Thank you.
for your comments, Elias. And if any of you would like to go see that continuing conversation, as there are replies, please feel free. Join our guild. Do we have to give them the guild number still, or do they actually
think so.
search properly now?
Oh, goodness.
We do
It's
like
a-
passionate
Do any of us know the
listeners.
guild number?
Oh no, I
Yeah,
was
it's at the
hoping
top.
Bill would have
Ready?
it in front of him.
I can't
Guild
find
number
it.
is
It's right on the top if you look at the
666
URL.
666
Where you
69,
just read that.
69.
3752. Here, I'll just put it in chat. 3752 is our guild number, and I will post it into our Twitch chat for anyone in the Twitch chat.
Great
It
for
is
the Twitch chat.
3752.
All you people listening at home, you're on your fucking own.
I said the number 3752. 3752.
3752.
Yeah, that was a good.
So 3 is my favorite number. 7 minus 5 equals 2.
It's also insane to hear of these
Thank
people.
you for your mnemonic device.
They're like
Emily.
listening. They're listening like
Always here to help.
to 90,000 episodes in like 2 weeks. It's great. Like
Yeah.
when we hook
I mean,
them, we hook them.
I don't know what
man.
to say. I mean, he makes some good points.
Except the baby thing. Now, come on. That's exactly what Shaft would do. And I would put it to you that anybody in that situation, if you remember, that water was pouring in
Yeah,
like
it
a
was.
son of a bitch, right?
Yep.
I mean, it was over Shaft's head in like 6 to 10
I know
seconds.
I was frustrated with you, but I was also frustrated that Brenda was missing, and now I know why. You know, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I mean, hell, even Brendel was running away.
it has
Oh,
got to
yeah,
be a
yeah.
completely different experience to listen episode after episode without waiting in between releases. And
Yeah,
and not
exactly.
recognizing when we stopped recording and when we did another session a month or two later, you know, stuff like that. So
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, there were gaps in there of recording that were 4 or 6 weeks before we got back
Right,
together
right.
here and there. So
Yep. And of course, what discussions and that kind of thing that make it into the final cut, I mean, not necessarily everything is there. So there are often times where the 5 of us will be speaking on a subject, and it's, you know, at the end of our play session, or it's not entirely pertinent to be sitting through in the episode. But those are still discussions that obviously I remember and I try to plan for, and then we don't play for 6 weeks and everybody forgets about them, right?
right. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
So Ian in the chat, Taco Supreme, has been talking. He's been posting lots of comments. I've certainly been reading them, Ian, about like spell components and that stuff, and he's kind of backing me up here on the Nat one. What Elias actually was referring to for the Nat one was the natural one on Shakara's attack, not Bryn's death save, and I don't think I need to defend myself on why that dealt too.
No.
Because ultimately it doesn't matter because it happened and there's
Yeah,
nothing that we can
That's
do
right.
about
I like
it, right?
I like the visualization though of like when it's a nat 1, you know, like she's not going to purposefully hit me right in the heart or the jugular, right? It's an accidental hit, but it's like I get what his visualization saying.
No, I exactly. I get it too. But like here's the thing is if we're like that natural one on the attack deals its full damage to the accidental hit. So that's kind of, I guess that's kind of what I was thinking. And I never really thought of it as definitively as that, but I suppose now that I need to vocalize it, I guess that's where that comes from. I mean, the hit is a hit, it's going to be dealing full damage. It's not like the crit on is dealing only half damage. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Whatever.
Right.
I could give a bunch of justifications, but like I say, like it happened, and it's certainly a fair criticism.
Yeah, I just want to say we do back up Leland. We have talked about this, and
Yeah, it's fine. It's
we're none of us are like mad at Leland about this. I mean, we're mad about him for many other reasons, but not this.
There's plenty of things
So
to be
many
pissed off
reasons.
about in this
Yes.
game.
Elias, I loved Bryn, but just wait till you meet Mia, you know? The other thing I really actually want clarification on, because we were talking about how much money Mia has or does not have. If I were to cast spells and components and yada yada.
I was going to get to that, yes. So Ian was bringing up about spell components, and yes, you casters can use some type of arcane focus or a druidic focus that replace your spell components, but they don't replace components that have a printed gold cost.
Didn't
Many
realize
of the
that.
higher level spells do. We've glossed over it and had never stuck to it to date, so we'll continue with not sticking to it, and obviously that's going to imbalance a lot of things because some of those spells, especially if they consume the components, can be costly to cast, and that's also part of that mechanics balancing. So we're just going to kind of deal with that, and like Ian says in the chat, he would not want to see Mia go cast a Revivify and have me say, well, I'm sorry, you didn't get your 500 gold piece worth diamonds to do so, or pearl, or whatever the hell it is. Like with Falzarin's Identify, it requires you to have a pearl, I believe, for the component as well.
Yeah.
You know, today we haven't done it. We're not going to continue to do so. And I guess that was nothing that we actually ever discussed, but it was just something when we first started, especially in chapter 1, was the under the guise of teaching to play the game.
Right. It says diamonds worth 300 gold points.
300 gold pieces.
Yeah,
Thank you. I unconsciously didn't even bother talking about it
Right.
to not further compound the efforts of learning the game and starting to podcast the game as well.
I think we talked about weight allowance and that kind of stuff at one point. It was a very brief conversation. We're not going to do this, I think is what we basically
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Yeah,
definitely
right. Exactly.
there's definitely components to like some of my 5th level spells. They're not the ones I have prepared, but interesting. Like I need a pinch of sulfur, okay, but it doesn't have gold points with it. You know what I mean? Like
Right. Therefore,
Pieces.
your focus can replace it.
Hey, if we use components, we'd all become thieves immediately.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody would just be ripping everybody off to get their stuff so they could cast spells.
holy
right?
crap! This one takes 1,000 gold points.
Pieces.
1,000 gold pieces.
Well, she's on credit.
Hello.
Remember, it's gold points
Yes.
when you're a Brightwood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's got that gold point card that she just flashes.
That's she only uses platinum.
But maybe once the Aspara campaign wraps up, our next venture, we can try playing with some of these rules.
No, because this spell is
Yeah, I like
1,000 gold pieces.
Well, obviously, in that type of world, and actually using the rules as they were, like the gold and what you receive is not necessarily going to be as strict as it is in this campaign. That's admittedly something that I don't do very well. But also, you've had 10 grand looming over your head for 100 episodes that has never been sought or achieved, that kind of thing. Lots of factors, but ultimately, that's just something.
10 grand
the
for
way
what?
I
what?
run the game.
I don't think any of my characters ever knew about 10 grand.
No.
Gozer was promised like 100 gold, I think.
Yeah, Gozer was promised
Oh
squat.
boy, 100 gold.
I mean,
Shaft, how do you sleep at night?
I sleep like as everybody would say, a baby.
Elias. I mean, Mia's gonna help you. You won't even offer her money. She'll probably still help you. So whatever. Lux.
It's not about money to Mia.
Yeah.
Right? No wonder Shav likes her.
Yeah, it's true. I'm gonna have to, do a scroll of sending home some. Wait, I don't even need to scroll. I can just send. I'm gonna have to send home one of these days and be like, Mom, I need some more points.
Can you mail me some money?
That's
Can you
right.
wire me some money?
Also, you're not my mom, but please love me like your child.
You're not my real mom. Give me money. Okay.
Well, was that all the questions?
Yeah. That's it.
Great. Okay. 2 last tidbits as we are running long again. Every time although you know what, the last after party was 2 hours and we didn't live stream that one. That was just long.
They're getting long, but I also hear often from people they're people's favorite because it's just nuts and they love it. So,
Well, Christ, I hope you're enjoying the actual show more than this garbage. Jesus.
I mean,
What would you need to listen to the show for then?
Let's just play off mic and tell everybody what the hell happened.
Let's just do after parties.
let's just do
every 3
afterwards.
weeks.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, 2 actual businesses. If you are in our Discord or a patron of ours, you would have seen a message about us changing our release schedule, or at least we were at the time were contemplating about it. Thank you for anybody that gave your input or your support about the change, which, as you know, we released twice weekly, which pretty much unanimously across the board, everyone has said, yeah, I can't believe you're doing that in the first place. So, we will be starting when this drops, which this coming Monday, September 7th. We will be going to once weekly releases. Every Monday, you will get a brand new episode. And that is, of course, again, to try to prevent any of us from burning out I hope it's clear that we put a lot of work into it and we are all incredibly invested with it, and we don't want to lose any of that momentum that we're starting to gain and some of that traction and just where the story is going and all that thing. We don't want to lose any of it. We want to keep the quality on par with what it has been, if not, of course, to increase it, but at least keep the baseline where that we've set. And so thankfully everyone, all 5 of us, we're all in agreement that it's a good idea.
As always, we don't have to talk in circles ever. It's fine. It's good.
There we go. Well, again, this main show is always going to be our focus. So
Yeah.
I think personally, I'll stop speaking for all the 5 of us. But personally, a concern of mine is because we're venturing into doing so many more different types of content. I mean, Twitch, first and foremost, and some of the extra stuff that comes with Patreon rewards. I don't want anybody to feel like they're getting the shaft, so to speak, on the main free show that we're so incredibly lucky and thankful for anybody that listens to and enjoys and comments like Elias. So I hope, I don't want anybody to ever feel like that. And so I've been reluctant in decreasing the schedule. I mean, we've spoken about the schedule, but when we started, there was like a month where we were releasing 3 times a week because we had a backlog of play
That was nuts.
That doesn't happen much anymore. I mean,
we don't have a backlog.
There have been some stressful weeks where we're like, okay, well, what about this night? What about that night? And we're like, well, if we don't record this night, then we have nothing to release this day. And it's like,
yeah, it got to
which
be
again,
pretty
recording comes over streaming and things like that for sure. Like it's
Yes,
happening.
Yes, definitely.
And John had brought up a good point too, is like, how do the 5 of us justify just us hanging out? If the 5 of us are getting together to do something, why aren't we recording something?
Mm-hmm.
Like the other week, we all got on, we just shot the shit, we played Survive on TTS.
Right.
That was fun though. We got to prevent
that was a lot of
burnout
fun.
too.
That was good.
yeah, that was great. It's been a long time since we've done something like that. Anytime we get together,
Right.
it's to record.
Christ, we used to do it quite often.
So you don't want it to feel like a full-time job, right? Because then it becomes less fun.
Right, and I think, Bill, you brought up the point of it seeping into the content itself as well.
Right. Yeah, and if it starts to not be fun for any of us, that's gonna come through on Mike, I think, and we don't want that to happen.
I agree.
Yeah.
Which has not happened yet.
No,
We just don't
We've
want
got
it
love
to.
in the chat right now. We've had love in Discord. Everyone understands. Like they just want us to be happy and healthy and having fun because that makes our show better for sure.
Yeah.
Just please be rest assured that this and I've been reluctant to this point to call it a decrease in release schedule. It's a change in the release schedule.
There you go.
But it's never in favor or in lieu of doing something else behind some type of paywall or even just streams. Like just hopefully I'm sure everyone understands that. As again, we've had nothing but love and support, and it's pretty fucking phenomenal. That said, on to the paywall. We did at the beginning of September. We have chatted. I think we talked about a couple of after parties ago. We did launch a new tier, $20 tier, titled the Leelander, which on par with our "You're Not Losing on This Deal" tier. You and up to 3 friends can get a one-shot run by yours truly. So that's up there, FYI. And that is to say, if any of the current patron... oh, yeah, we actually didn't discuss... I didn't discuss this with you. Maybe I should not say it. But I was...
We trust you, Leah. Go ahead and do
I was
it.
thinking that if any current patrons wanted to upgrade that because it's a requirement of having 6 months of patronage to receive the reward, right? Any past patronage could be put towards that, because, I mean, it's a calculable total, theoretically.
Yeah.
I'm good with
I
that.
have no objection to that.
Yeah, I don't care. You're the one doing it.
Totally makes sense.
The gavel comes down.
Again, this is Leland making...
The judgment is made.
This is Leland making 2 unique one-shot campaigns yearly. So if you choose to be someone's friend that they're bringing in, it's going to be the same one-shot, right? That's
Right. So, yeah, don't patron and then think you can play it with a... Like, that's... It's to reduce the workload more than trying to say, ha! Fuck you, asshole.
Yeah, but
Because as I was explaining it, it sounded like that's what it was starting to sound like.
But again, it's
Yeah.
up to 3 friends. It doesn't have to be 4 people. It's up to 4 people.
Hell, it could be if you want to have a one-on-one shot with me, I guess. I mean, to have that, right?
Leland and a bunch of NPCs. But yeah, just to be clear, like Leland, I think you had said that you're going to put the time and the effort into making 2 unique short campaigns, one-shots, whatever you want to call them, that will be available for anyone who signs up at that tier to play through. But you're not, if we got, I don't know, 10 people that decided to pledge at that tier, you're not going to make 10 different campaigns.
That's right. And it is limited to 5. So, it means every patron and group of friends with that patron will play through the same one-shots at that tier level. We tried to make that as clear as possible on the page itself. We went back and forth, and hopefully it is, but who knows? I don't know.
And since we're on the subject, if you want to join as a patron, there are really cool stuff. Like we just finished up, or almost, we haven't released yet, all of the Paranoia campaign, which was a blast to play. And we also have other games that we're going to be putting on there too. So,
Yeah. Paranoia was really
really,
fun.
Yes, it was.
Oh, yeah.
We have
Great.
finally used some patron inspiration.
Yes.
That will be coming out soon.
Our last play session, we used at least a couple different inspirations.
I think
from
3 instances of it.
Yeah.
If that is maybe a minor
Spoiler.
nod at what could happen.
There's some dice rolling.
There are some dice do get
Oh,
rolled.
man.
What do you know?
Oh, man.
That's great. That's all I got.
That's all I got.
That's all I got.
Oh, I'm sorry. Ian wanted his inspiration spent on Alamar.
Oh, no. Never got it. He did. He did.
That's about all I have. Other than if you want to see us get slaughtered on Kingdom Death Monster.
Sundays at 5
5. There you go.
Eastern.
And Leland started doing Gloomhaven.
Yes.
Yeah, Saturday, 8 a.m. Pacific. It was fun.
11
Early.
a.m.
Yeah,
Eastern.
the first one went well, I think. It was interesting. It's a really nice looking game.
It's sexy
Yeah,
looking.
it's very flashy. I am doing it that early so it could never conflict with a potential Saturday recording time.
That's good thinking.
So it's for you,
Yeah.
listener. It's all for you.
Thank you, Leland.
All right, let's get the fuck out of
That
here.
was fun.
All right. I've been John and Shaft.
I've been Emily and Shakara.
I'm Elena and Mia.
I've been Bill and Falzarin.
And I'm Leland Steele. Happy adventuring.